Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Colby, and I'm going to be reviewing the Subaru Outback Wilderness. So I personally bought this vehicle. I waited about 6 months to get it from the dealership. I live in Alaska, just like you can kind of see it's nasty outside. But I wanted to give an actual review of this thing because I feel like a lot of people buy this and they don't know necessarily what expectations to have. So a few things I've already done. I have done a lot of off-roading, some snow stuff, some ice stuff. I swapped out the tires for some Toyo studded ones. And the Geolanders are great, just not great for Alaska. I think anywhere else that doesn't get this much snow and ice would be a great all-weather tire, right? But I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been great, and I've put 500 miles on it, and I really could not be happier, I think, with my purchase. Now, I am going to demo some driving here. We're going to go around it. We're going to talk about how it is and what I like and I don't like. And then from there, we will eventually come to a conclusion. Is this vehicle going to be right for you? And I'm going to hope that you guys can come to that. And hopefully you get something that you like, or you don't like it and you don't get it. And that's where I'm here to assist you guys. This is a real world view or point of view. Nobody's paid me for this. This is my money spent on this vehicle because I thought it would fit my lifestyle. So what is my lifestyle, right? So I am an extremely outdoorsy adventurer type. I usually have a rooftop tent on my vehicles. I do not have one this winter because it's pretty harsh. So I will eventually mount that once I get a rooftop tent heater made. It's like a diesel heater type thing. But I really do like the outdoors, and so does my wife, right? And, you know, we have our Instagram handle, Venture of a Lifetime. If you guys want to go check that out, I'll plug it at the end of this too. But we kind of like just get out there and go and really check out cool things. And so I wanted to have a setup that would get us out there, but also be a good daily driver and also something good for the family, right? You know, it's one of our goals to really just get out and be comfortable. And I thought, well, why don't we do that in style? Now, before this, I did have a 2016 F-150 Super Crew, and I loved it. But one, it was a gas guzzler. Two, it was really awkward to get in tight spaces. And three, it wasn't really family friendly. Like, it's nice. You can definitely have a family in there. Like, I'm not knocking the truck itself, but I wanted something that had a little bit more of a good safety rating and was a little bit more comfortable. And also, I'm sorry for my shaky hand. I had a ton of caffeine today. But let's get into driving here, and we'll talk about it a little bit more after you see some demo here. And I'm going to talk next to my GoPro here. This is like my janky filming setup because I did not buy a headrest mount yet, but I will in the future. So anyway, let's get it driving here. Hopefully the audio is not too shabby on this, and we'll get to the meat and potatoes of everything. Thanks, guys. All right, so here we are. We're in the Subaru. Let's clean off my windshield real quick, and we're gonna get driving here. So this road is really snowy. In fact, it's probably got about 4 inches of snow, and I'm not using X mode right now. But to get to X mode, you have to go through this dash piece here, and you just click through it. And we are gonna do that right now because this is some different driving condition, right? So let's go to normal, snow, and dirt. All right, because we do have some light slipping. Now it looks like this road has not been traveled as much, keyword as much. I also apologize for the camera shake. I can see it on my phone, it's right here. But you can see that even in snow like this, like even if I go off to this little hump here that's in the middle of the road, I'm drifting, I'm dragging, but I'm still able to go, right? And the Subaru's doing fine on it, although it is pulling a bit. There it goes. Had to slow down a bit. The thing with snow and powder and ditches is sometimes it tries to suck you in, and I don't like that. And actually, I'm gonna go to normal because, quite frankly, like the snow and dirt, it just feels like I'm losing traction. Actually, like maybe if you were going slow and you got stuck, but right now it's trying to overcompensate for everything, and it's really not that bad. So maybe snow and dirt could be reserved for really bad road conditions, right? These aren't really horrible. So let's make this turn here. We'll go nice and slow because who wants to get recovered? All right, and now we are on the unbeaten path of this fresh snow, and it feels really good. That's one thing I've been like impressed with the Subaru is how smooth the entire ride is, whether you're going over speed bumps or stuff like this, or like, you know, you're just on a gravelly road. It all feels good. And below this is gravel. Let me adjust my mount real quick. I'm gonna just do that for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. All right, let's see if that's better. But again, it is snowing a little bit. It's 20 degrees today. pretty good weather for Alaska this time of year. And look at that. We're going into some snow here. Pull myself out. And like I said, this is real world testing. Like I love the whole car track thing and off-roading like dirt, but I want to see how this car does in snow, and for that matter, like pretty deep snow, starting out to get going up here, right? If I was in the truck, I feel like I'd do a little bit better just based on four-wheel drive, but all-wheel drive is still fantastic because you don't get dug in like a truck would. Because while you do get sucked into some stuff, it's really not that bad. So let's get up this hill. And look at that, no issues at all. So one of the biggest things that I wanted to have while driving was safety, right? And the Subaru all-wheel drive system makes me feel very confident, not overconfident. I know you can still get stuck in these things, but sorry, that was my other GoPro, but it feels like, how do I put it? Like I'm not going to get stuck. Like I can keep on going, I can continue on. And that is a very big deal to a lot of people. They want to be able to adventure and not be afraid. And in my F-150, I was kind of not super scared, but I was definitely intimidated. With this, I feel like I can get out more reliably, a lot safer, and on top of that, have a lot more fun, because this is not only sporty and it can get you around really fast, it's also dependable and rugged, and it can go up hard hills, rough terrains. It's got a little bit of armor on it, and you can buy more if you're really, really outdoorsy. So there I just felt some slipping, right? But we're just gonna keep on going on here. All right. And now, I am running studded tires. These are winter tires, and while they're good, they're not spectacular, right? But I wanted to get something that was at least, you know, something I could trust a little bit more. And now we're in snow, for instance, right now, right? So there's the all-wheel drive kicking in. I feel it. I'm going to put it on snow and dirt, and we're just going to go. And look at that. We're still moving forward. You obviously don't want to stop in this stuff because you don't want to get dug in. But my rear end is slipping on the back, and I can feel it gain traction pulling there. Okay. So let's keep on going here. As you can see, I'm counter steering quite a bit, but it is slippery. All right. And now I'm hitting a sign here that says I'm not allowed to go past this, I bet. So let's double check it. Yep, authorized vehicles only behind this point. So we're going to curve it around here. And let's see how it does on this tight turn. And look at that. No digging in. No hard switchback on that. Just great. I mean, you feel the control. So let's keep on going here. I'm really testing this out though. And there you go. See, I put myself into a little rut and right back in it. But you can just see how hard I'm counter steering here. Like I'm fighting this, but at the same time, the Subaru's doing a lot of that work. And so we're just gonna keep on going here. And look at that. Oh, there you go. We're gonna switch it to deep snow now. And now I feel that all-wheel drive kicking in just like that, and this thing is right back on track. It is crazy how fast this thing just picks up, right? So there is the off-roading test here, right? So that was the deep snow right there. And I hope that my GoPro caught all that color because, or all the off-roading slips and all that. Fingers crossed, right? So let's do a walk around of this vehicle, and we'll just talk about it real quick a little bit more, and then we'll be done with the video. So that was the off-roading test. So as you could see, the snow there is kind of deeper. Let me get on this main road here. We'll show you guys what I'm talking about, okay? So my audio may not be the best, and excuse that. And while we're out here, we'll do some other stuff, okay? So as you can see, this is what we are working with right here. So this has all been driven through. This is all pretty okay snow. This is what I was mainly driving through, is all this stuff. And I mean, you can see it's about a hand length, so that's probably close to let's say 6 inches. So 6 inches of snow off-roading, and I feel very comfortable in the vehicle. So let's go around the outside of it. I'm gonna swap my mic around here. We're gonna talk about it, okay? So here is the outside of the vehicle. I did not wash or clean this. It's been washed one time, and that was because it was just covered in ice, and that was my fault. I usually put this in the garage every other day to defrost it, and I just was lazy. All right, so let's talk about it, right? how does the outside hold up against the elements? Well, it doesn't really attract that much snow and ice, although I can hear running with these Toyo studded tires that they are flipping stuff on the other side of this, and it's really bad because it's snow and ice and you can just hear it. So I am going to be getting some mud flaps for this vehicle. I actually already bought them, and they'll be coming in and we'll be installing those. But that's just to protect the underside of the vehicle and the paint, because you can just see like right here how it's throwing up stuff. And that's pretty general for all vehicles in this biome of coldness, right? Now, big shout out to Mandalorian and Mr. Grogu here. I love Baby Yoda. So you guys will see that on my Instagram a lot. And let's talk about the back of it, okay? So the back is where I actually go the most as far as this vehicle is concerned. I've used it to sit on there. I use it to put my groceries there, and more importantly, I use it to get my extra winter gear. Now these are just small backups. This isn't my main stuff, but this is like, hey, I need an extra layer. So I got my LL Bean jacket. I got an emergency sleeping bag in case I see a wreck and somebody's going into shock or dying. I got spare gloves, ways to dig out my vehicle, and of course, a way to clean it off. And I got my road flare kit and basically a survival kit in case something really, really bad happens. And then a car jumper cable, which I don't want to use that, but it's there as a backup. And of course, a trauma kit. That is generally what I run in the back of here. And then of course, I love the privacy shade. I think that there's a lot of prying eyes where I live. As far as if I go out to town, I don't want to have people looking at my vehicle. And so this is a good way to kind of limit that. And my favorite thing of this above all is the button to close the rear gate. Makes it a lot easier and nicer. And especially if you got your hands full, like it's great. Like the other day I grabbed some road flares out of the back of here, and I wanted to put my rear gate down so I could have my hazard lights on. And I had a road flare, popped it, didn't even think about it, tossed it on the ground, and then hit the button on that and walked over to check on the person again because they had crashed. Here's my Instagram, if you guys are interested in following. It's Venture of a Lifetime. I would appreciate a follow if you guys find this video great, or if you're possibly looking at buying a Subaru Outback or a Wilderness Edition. Now going over the top of it, right? So these are the bars themselves. This does not come stock with crossbars. You have to buy those. But again, this is a purpose-driven vehicle. Not all crossbars are going to work for everyone else. So for instance, with me, I'm looking at the Yakima HD bars with the Timberline towers because I have a 189-pound rooftop tent. And so that's where these come into play. Is their static load is 700-ish pounds, a little bit more than that, I believe, and then their dynamic load, which is what is on top of that while you're moving and driving, is 220 pounds, which is pretty dang good. So I'm excited to try that out once breakup happens and all this crap is at least mostly gone, and there will be a rooftop tent mounted on there. Now let's take a look at the front of the vehicle here. I will turn on the lights if I can figure out the switches. It is a new vehicle, so bear with me. Let's turn it on though. All right, let's turn them on. There you go. And we're just going to put these on. Okay. Yep, there they are. All right, so here are the headlights. I really find them bright enough for the most part. I really like the steering responsiveness of them too. Being able to see around corners is very, very nice, especially on tight turns. So when they go back and forth, you can actually see it in front of your garage or when you turn on your vehicle. You can hear my cooler kicking in there. My car's been running for a little bit, and it's doing great though. I haven't had any mechanical issues with this yet. And of course you have the gigantic Subaru logo right there on the front. It's huge. I mean, like, look at my hand. I can barely cover it, but I love the look of it. So let's go into the interior of the vehicle. I know I showed off the back. I'm not necessarily in chronological order here, but let's go check out the back seats here. So the back seats are plenty spacious. I've only had one person sit in here, and they sat on this side, and my dog too. She's hairy, so excuse all the dog hair. But I like these because, one, you can lower them down very easily. You can also do that from the back. That's another thing I really love, is there's little handles that you pull. But the legroom is really nice. So my seat's backed up all the way because I was working with my camera gear setting it up. But there's plenty of room here, and of course you have heated seats and 2.1 amp USB ports here. Now let's check those out. There you go. So if you're on a road trip, you can charge your devices, which is great. And then of course you put this down, you've got a cup holder and an armrest, and I always carry toilet paper with me because you gotta do your business sometime. All right, and then another cup holder and these handles with whatever that hole is. I have no idea. So let's get into the interior of this real quick, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Nice. Okay. So I really like the interior of this vehicle. It's comfortable. It feels premium. I don't feel like it is going to wear down very fast. And I also like the ergonomics and feel of everything, from the shifter knob to the key clicks here and the buttons that you have to push down. If I could add really anything to this, it would probably be a few more physical buttons for the actual AC, right, and your climate control. And the reason why is because while this is nice and these are your essentials, like heating your mirrors up and heating your back window up and defogging or defrosting your window, I wish you could have something that was like a programmable button, like right here, where it could like be like, hey, my car's fogging up really bad. It's Alaska and it just went to -15 randomly in this valley. Let me hit that real quick, and then it turns everything on high, and that's like pre-programmed to do that. And you can program it that way versus on screen here having a programmable button. Like, I don't like that, because then you have to find it. Now, Apple CarPlay on here is really nice. It feels good, and I'll showcase that real quick. Let me plug in my phone. So you'll see CarPlay pull up. It will come up right here. We will turn that off, and I don't want to get a copyright tag, but let me pull this up, right? So everything feels really good. Everything feels smooth. We've got all of our little apps here, and it feels mostly responsive. I know a lot of people complain about it being a little slow. I personally deal with a lot of slow devices, and this doesn't feel too groggy. It may think a little bit here and there, but for the most part, we have no issues, okay? And of course, there are just a plethora of apps you can get for this. You can customize the background like I did to match my interior and my favorite color. And I think that's really cool. So overall, I really think this is a great vehicle. There are a lot of good features with it, like the infotainment system, where you can actually customize it to really make it your vehicle. And you can actually disable a lot of safety features too, so that way they don't beep at you. For instance, while I'm on the highway, I have it set up to where if a car gets in front of me, it will beep. But if a car gets out of the way and it's going slower than what the posted speed limit is, my car will speed up and it doesn't beep at me anymore, because I found that just kind of annoying personally. I really like the voice control with Siri, but I do not like the stock voice control on the vehicle itself. It is pretty bad, and it hasn't been that intuitive for me personally, especially if you're using Bluetooth. So I do recommend using Apple CarPlay if you have an iPhone or Android Auto, right? Let's see, any final thoughts? I love the 3.5mm aux next to the charging port. I think that your phone is going to have a hard time fitting in there, especially if it's one of the bigger models. So I run a Polar Pro case on my phone, which is in my filming mount right now. But as you can see, it's fairly thin, but with my rugged armor cases that I run when I'm working, it has issues sliding into the slot right here, and that's a no-go for me. So I generally put my phone in my cup holder, and then I put my iPod where the phones are supposed to go. I run an iPod Classic. I think they sound better. Overall, guys, I think that's everything I have. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or if you're going to be a future buyer of one of these, hit me up. I'd love to assist you in everything. But I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and thank you for your time. I appreciate also everybody who gives me constructive criticism. You know, I definitely need it as a new filmer and photographer, and the same goes with this YouTube channel. So I'm going to be running this thing, you know, here and there. It's not going to be a everyday video type thing or an everyday vlog. It's going to be more so like, hey, here's a life update, here's an equipment update, or hey, we're camping, this is our setup. I want to kind of inspire people so they can get an idea, like my wife and I did, over what we want to do and how we want to set up, right? Because I think that's important for a lot of people, you know, especially people that have never camped in their lives and are starting out. So I'm going to, in closing, I want to say this vehicle is definitely for the outdoorsy type. It's not for a rock crawler by any means, but I think for an all-around good vehicle that would get you out on the trail or get you going, you really can't pick anything better, in my opinion. It's just a fantastic vehicle. So I'm gonna close it at that. I really hope that you guys found this at least informative, and if not, give me some constructive criticism. I would very much appreciate it, and I'll probably add a note like that into the front of my video also, so if you guys see that, that's why. Because most people aren't going to watch a crappy video all the way through, right? So anyway, have a great day, guys. My name's Colby. Mary's over at the house. We'll be showing some more adventure videos here and there, and this is Adventure of a Lifetime. Bye, guys.